Okay, hari ini we continue. We proceed to the next part itu. But before that, I'd like to do some revision lah. Okay, kita do sedikit revision regarding the chapter 3. Okay, chapter 3 ini adalah discussing about symmetric ciphers. Okay, so we have covered about the substitution cipher. Now we move to the transposition cipher lah. Okay. Yang dia tidak gantikan characters, it doesn't change the characters inside the plain text, but it only change the position of each characters in the plain text. Okay, so it makes the plain text from something meaningful to become something meaningless. All right. Without substituting the characters lah, only substituting the or change the position or location of each symbol or characters. Okay, itu adalah transposition cipher. So the keyword is position lah. We transform the position for the characters, right? So kita ada yang jenis keyless yang tidak ada kunci dan kita ada je yang key, which is yang ada kekunci. Okay, so in bahasa when we are discussing about bila kita sebut tentang keys ni maknanya adalah kekunci lah. Okay, bukan kunci yang kita biasa guna pakai tapi kita refer sebagai kekunci. Alright, so keyless yang famous adalah Railfan cipher. Kita buat zigzag pattern saja kan. So if the attacker knows how to do the encryption, so habislah. Okay, so kita memang totally insecure lah. Okay, cuma yang mungkin what we can learn from this cipher is the way how the encryption being done lah. Okay, so we change from something meaningful, meet me at the park, so it becomes meaningless. Okay, without substituting any characters, all the characters still there, but the positions are totally changed lah. Okay, but dia berubah sedikit, or not totally changed, but a little bit changed lah by using the cipher. Okay. So ada beberapa kaedah lah untuk yang reference cipher ni, but it's very easy to break lah. Okay, and then kita ada juga yang ini yang different kaedah lah, column to column. It depends on the way how we do the encryption and decryption. Maksudnya the process itu mesti reversible lah. Okay, so kalau kita in encryption we write row by row and we read column by column, so dia punya decryption itu akan terbalik lah, the reverse process, because always remember that the decryption is the inverse of the encryption. Whatever we do for the encryption, so untuk dapat balik plain text itu kita kena reverse the process in the decryption in order to reveal the original text. Okay, and then so finish with the keyless, and then we have another kind of transposition cipher known as keyed. Okay, yang ada kekuncinya. Kalau tadi no key, so ini ada kekunci. So kita belajar tentang this cipher. Okay, so kita ada dia punya password. Okay, so the password itu mesti following the number of characters lah. If ataupun the number of block yang kita predetermine lah. So if we agree to use the block 5, so make sure the digit is among 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lah. There is no 6, 7, and so on, only limited to 5. And then we reshuffle the digits from 1 up to 5. Okay, so originally it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the correct order, in the proper order. So we can change the position of these numbers, becomes the password. So it's still the same numbers, but in different position. Okay. So the encryption is moves from top to bottom, while for the decryption it moves in reverse direction from bottom to top. All right. So this is the how we do the encryption. We divide all the characters according to the predetermined block size. So kita setuju block size itu adalah 5. So make sure each block itu contains 5 characters lah, or 5 symbols. So if the final block is not reach the predetermined block size, so we need to put something, or we need to add something to that block. Okay, so that additional character is what we call as bogus character, but make sure the bogus doesn't change the meaning of the message lah. Okay, so mungkin yang perlu kita lakukan is S. So S itu bila kita letakkan di hujung mungkin akan menentukan singular dan plural kan, for certain words kan. Jadi we need to add something yang tidak mengganggu the meaning of the message. For example, Z, any character, but as long as the message is still understandable and the meaning is still there lah, tidak berubah apa-apa pun. Okay. Okay, so bila sudah cukup, each block itu ada 5 characters, then we can proceed with the encryption. Alright, so for this kind of cipher, we do the encryption block by block. Okay, for each block, we do the encryption. Okay, and then we combine them together to become the 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 ciphertext. Okay, so in this kind of cipher, we distinguish between the plaintext and ciphertext by writing the plaintext in small letters, while for the ciphertext we write the ciphertext as capital letters, just to distinguish which one is the plaintext and which one is the ciphertext. Okay, so untuk ini kita we do the encryption as block by block, and then we combine together, come out with this ciphertext lah. Alright, and then for the decryption, we do the reverse process. We proceed or we start with the ciphertext block. So because the bogus character is already added to the plaintext before, okay, or prior to the encryption process, so that means in the decryption the size block itu memang akan fix lah. So each block itu memang akan each block will contain the 5 characters lah, where 5 is the size the predetermined block size tadi. Okay, tiada isu, tidak cukup sebab it's already being added in the uh, in the previous step lah, in the encryption, prior to the encryption process. So setiap block itu memang sudah mempunyai number character yang sama, okay, in the decryption algorithm. So there is no issue to add any more bogus, because the addition of the bogus characters happen prior to the encryption process. All right. So we do the reverse process. Okay, for each block we divide to 5 because the predetermined size is 5, and then we put the password below the ciphertext block, and followed by the correct the numbers in the correct order lah. Okay, password lepas tu the correct order, and then we trace back the position for each character, and finally after we combine all the revealed supply text block, then we obtain the whole message lah without any different with the original message. Okay, so the meaning of the message still understandable. We know because the added bogus character is something that doesn't have any effect lah to the original message. Kita tambah character Z kan, jadi tidak mengubah maksud the original message. Alright, so itu yang kaedah pertama. We do the encryption decryption itu block by block. Okay, so kita ada satu lagi what kind of transposition cipher, which is the combination, which is the hybrid of two different types of transposition ciphers. So we combine the keyless and key transposition cipher. What is the purpose? Yes, of course, to achieve better scrambling. So biasanya bila kita do the modification on a crypto system, so the purpose mainly kepada satu is security, and secondly is for the efficiency lah. Okay, so for the security, of course, we want to enhance the level of complexity of our scramble of our encryption and decryption, to make it harder for the attacker to to attack the system and to break the crypto system. All right, so same goes with this kind of cipher. The keyless and key transposition ciphers are combined to achieve better scrambling. So better scrambling maknanya better security level lah. Okay, walaupun tidak secure, yes, it is not secure, but it's better than we use the keyless and key ciphers alone. Okay. Or okay, encryption and decryption done as follows. First of all, the text is written into a table row by row. Okay, and then we do the permutation by reordering the columns. Okay, so kalau previously kita buat the encryption itu secara block by block, but then in this kind of cipher we do the encryption itu to the whole column lah. Okay, we combine all the plaintext block in one table. Okay, make sure the size are even or equal. Each block contains the same number of characters, and then we do the encryption itu by changing the position for the whole column. Kalau tadi kita tukar the position itu for each character kan? Tapi sekarang the whole column kita bawa. Okay, kita akan tukarkan dia. For example, okay, for the number one, this is the original position. If you can see my cursor, okay, this is the original position. So after we use this kind of this key or this password, so the position for the number one is changed from the first row, first column. Now it is located at the second column. So we take the whole character in the first column to the second column of the ciphertext. But remember, please distinguish which one is the plain text and which one is the ciphertext by writing the ciphertext in capital letters. Okay? Untuk kita bezakan dia lah. Kan? Jadi kita tahu mana kamu katakan sebagai ciphertext, mana yang kamu katakan sebagai plain text. So we take the whole column to the new position. And then we combine them together and come up with this ciphertext. Alright? So this ciphertext will travel through insecure channel. Okay, it's okay because it is in scrambled form. It is in encrypted form, so it will travel through insecure channel. Okay, so it reach the recipient, which is Bob. So Bob need to do the reverse process lah. So the reverse process is to write column by column. So previously it is written as row by row, so now it is written column by column. Okay, so and then we do the same process, but then we change the position of the password and the original numbers lah. Okay, so previously the original numbers located top of the at the top of the it's located on the password, but now the password is located on the original number lah. Okay, and then we change the positions accordingly. So for the number 3, previously it is located at the first column, so we just find where is the number 3. Number 3 is here, so we take the whole column to this position. Okay, so from capital letters, now we write the plain text in small letters lah. Okay, then we read column by column, then we obtain the whole message. All right, so obviously this is a symmetric cipher. Okay, symmetric cipher because both parties, Alice and Bob, need to find a secure channel to exchange the key. Okay, so Alice need to tell Bob that the password or the key is 31452 without revealing that number to any other party other than Bob. Okay, so dia memerlukan satu secure channel lah. Okay, untuk to make sure that the password 31452 only known by Bob, but not the other parties lah. Okay, so ini adalah symmetric cipher. So the biggest challenge in this kind of cipher is to find such a secure channel lah untuk key exchange purpose kan. Macam mana kita mau exchange itu key kan? Susah. Kalau Alice and Bob located close to each other, yes, they can just physically change the key kan. But kalau located far away from each other, so how they can exchange that number? Okay, susah. Jadi that becomes the major problem in symmetric key cipher. Then the cryptographers come out with the idea of asymmetric key cipher. So that ciphers will be covered in chapter 5 nanti lah. Okay. Alright, so kita berhenti di sini hari itu kan. So kita pergi kepada the next topic. So this topic discussing about stream and block ciphers. Apa beza antara stream dengan block cipher? So the symmetric ciphers can be divided. Okay, if we divide them based on the way how we do the encryption and decryption, then we can divide the symmetric cipher into two broad categories. The first category is what we call a stream cipher, and the second category is what we call as block cipher. Okay, so for the stream cipher, the encryption and decryption are done one symbol, okay, one symbol or one character at a time. Itu adalah stream. Okay, each symbol or each character one by one at one time. Okay. Itu kalau stream. So let's say we denote the plain text stream as M. Okay, so M itu biasanya akan mewakili plain text lah, M small m lah. Okay, maknanya itu adalah message lah kan M2, so that adalah plain text. So for the ciphertext, as usual, we represent or we denote the ciphertext as capital C. So C obviously it's representing ciphertext, and the key to represented by K. All right. So the the we have the following. Okay, M kita represent sebagai M1, M2, M3, MT. Okay, macam yang kita buat sebelum ini kan dalam the previous ciphers in Caesar cipher and so on. So we denote one by one character itu represented by M1, M2 up to MT. So if the message is crypto, so our C is M1, R is M2, Y is MT, M3, sorry, and so on. Okay, so kita akan represent each character itu menggunakan M1 and up to MT. So the corresponding ciphertext are denoted by capital C1, capital C2, capital C3 up to capital CT. While the key stream is denoted by K1, K2, K3 up to K3. So if you can see that the number of plain text is equal to the number of ciphertext and also equal to the number of key. Okay, there are T plain text, there are T ciphertext, and there are also T keys. So the encryption is done as follows. So in order to obtain the first ciphertext, it is by executing the encryption function, okay, towards the first message M1 by using the first key, which is K1. Okay, so then we obtain this first ciphertext lah. Okay, in order to obtain the second ciphertext, so we execute the encryption function by inserting the input M2 and by using the key K2. Okay, and we proceed the same steps towards all the plain text, and we obtain all the corresponding ciphertext by using all the keys lah. Okay, so the decryption is the reverse process. Encryption is to compute ciphertext, while for the decryption is to compute plain text. Okay, so we just use the different function. For the encryption, it uses the capital E representing the encryption function, while for the decryption we use the capital D, which representing the decryption function. The input for the encryption is the message, while the input for the decryption is the ciphertext. Okay, the output for the encryption is the ciphertext, while the output for the decryption is the plain text, and both processes are executed by using the key. Mesti ada kekunci. So apa contoh dia? The example for the stream ciphers, yes, obviously kita sudah belajar sebelum ini, Caesar cipher, a fine cipher, Vigenère cipher. So each proses itu kita akan buat for each single character. Okay, so itu adalah contoh-contoh stream ciphers. So stream cipher can be a monoalphabetic or polyalphabetic cipher. So I think I have elaborated about these two kind of ciphers, monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic. So for the monoalphabetic, whenever we change A becomes E, okay, by using the same key, yeah. Whenever we change A becomes E, so in any position A will be always substituted as E. Okay, regardless where is the position for the A, so dia akan sentiasa substituted by E. So itu adalah mono alphabetic. But for the polyalphabetic, okay, walaupun kita menggunakan kunci yang sama, but one character can be changed becomes other characters. So could be E, A also could be S, A also could be M, for example. Okay, so itu adalah polyalphabetic. Okay, so I hope you can understand what is the difference between monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic. Okay, so a stream cipher is monoalphabetic if the value of ki does not depend on the position of the plaintext character in the plaintext stream. So as I explained just now, otherwise the stream cipher is a polyalphabetic. All right, so finish with the stream cipher. Now we have a block cipher. So for the block cipher, a group of plain text or symbols, such as a character or a bit, okay, of size t, where t is greater than 1. So obviously t is natural numbers, like counting numbers. Okay, so it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Kalau T itu equal to 1, so itu adalah stream. Okay, so itu kita with that is why we need to make sure that the value for the T is greater than 1 to form a block. If T equal to 1, so that means it is still stream lah. Okay, because the block size equal to 1 in the stream. So if the block size is greater than 1, so it is block cipher. Okay, so T is a natural number where the value for the T is greater than 1. So this group of plaintext are encrypted together to create a group of ciphertext of the same size. So ini kita panggil sebagai block cipher. That means kita ada satu block, so we do the encryption and decryption based on that block to produce the block of ciphertext. Okay, so itu beza dia dengan stream. Kalau stream one by one, but for the block, we do the encryption decryption block by block, right? And the block must, the size tu mestilah greater than one lah. Okay, okay. So a single key is used to encrypt the whole block, even if the key is made of multiple values. Ini beza dia. Kalau tadi in the stream, we use the key itu kena sama lah. Okay, for each plaintext itu. Tapi untuk yang block, kita hanya gunakan single key. Okay, to encrypt the whole block, even if the key is made of multiple values. Itu satu lagi beza antara stream dengan block. Okay, suppose we have M denotes the plaintext stream and we denote B as denote the plaintext block. Tadi kata ada M sebab M itu representing the single value kan? But because we have the block, so we represent it by B. And then we have a C denotes the ciphertext stream. Okay, to beza dia. And B denotes the ciphertext block. Okay, and then K we have the keys. Okay, kalau tadi kita hanya ada M, kita hanya ada C dan kita ada K. But now we have additional notations lah. The small b denotes the plaintext block, while for the capital B it representing the ciphertext block. And as usual, because we're dealing with crypto system, so that means kita kena ada key. Alright, so let's say the size block is 3. So our value T is equal to 3. Then our stream, plaintext stream itu ada 9 characters. Okay, kita ada 9 symbols ataupun 9 characters in the plaintext stream. So kita ada M1, M2, M3 up to M9. So the plaintext block according to the predetermined block size which is equal to 3. So kita boleh divide message itu kepada 3 blocks where each block itu contains the same number of plaintext. So for the first block, kita ada M1, M2, M3, while for the second block, we have M4, M5, M6, while in the third block, we have M7, M8, and M9. Okay, so when we combine together all these sub blocks, okay, B1, B2, and B3, we come out with a single block which is represented by B. Okay, B. Okay, next. So the encryption is done as follows. So okay, because we have 3 sub blocks, so we must produce another 3 sub blocks in the encryption process. Okay, that means we produce 3 blocks of the ciphertext. Okay, so the blocks are represented by capital B1, capital B2, capital B3. So how we can obtain the value for the capital B1? So we need to use the encryption function denoted by the capital E. The input is the first block, which is B1, and we need to use the key K1. All right. And then we obtain the ciphertext stream in the first block lah. Okay, inside the first block, of course, the first 3 ciphertext stream. So finish with the first block, we move to the second block denoted by capital B2. So it is obtained by executing the encryption function where the input is the second plaintext block B2. We use the second key K2 and we produce the second block of the ciphertext stream lah. All right, and then followed by the third block, which is the B3. So we can combine them together and come out with a single block of the ciphertext, okay, which implicitly contains all the ciphertext stream lah. Okay, sama sebenarnya. Cuma the way how we encrypt and decrypt itu berbeza. Kalau tadi one by one, but now the input for the encryption function is block by block. Okay, to the difference between block and stream. In the stream, the input is for the single plain text value, but in the block cipher, the input is in the block form instead of the single form. All right. So finish with the encryption. We proceed with the decryption, which to reveal back the plain text block tadi lah. So kita ada B1, B2, and B3. So in order to recover the plain text, that means we need to execute the decryption function, which is denoted by capital D, and the input for the decryption is the block, the ciphertext block, denoted by capital B1, capital B2, and also capital B3. And after all, we obtain again the whole original plain text stream, because when we combine them together, we obtain the original message without any change or different with the original message before the encryption process. So itu yang kita panggil sebagai block cipher. Okay, so if we want to see the categorization clearly, so we can come up with this flow chart. So kita ada the symmetric ciphers can be broadly based on the way how we do the encryption and decryption, can be broadly categorized to stream and block ciphers. Under the stream cipher, so we have monoalphabetic cipher, and this are the another class is the polyalphabetic ciphers. So for the monoalphabetic ciphers, so we have some substitution ciphers. Okay, for example, the Caesar cipher and the affine cipher, and for the alphabetic cipher, polyalphabetic cipher, yes, we also have substitution cipher. The example, we have Wegener cipher. Okay, if you still remember the cipher that used W to do the encryption and decryption. So itu adalah contoh polyalphabetic cipher. So for the block cipher, the example for the block cipher yang kita baru belajar tadi, the transposition cipher, because the encryption and decryption are done by using based on block of plain text and block of ciphertext. All right. Okay, so now we're talking about modern symmetric ciphers. Although the symmetric cipher is facing the major problem regarding the key management, uh, but actually it is still widely used. Sekarang masih ada lagi. Okay, so macam mana? Sebab symmetric cipher actually secure. Secure as long as the key is unknown to the third party, so actually it's secure. Okay, ada certain symmetric ciphers yang modern lah. I mean the modern ciphers lah, bukan yang bukan Caesar. Itu of course tidak secure lah. Bukan keyless ataupun key. Itu bukan secure because the key space is too small. Okay, the attacker can try all the possible keys, then find the message yang ada makna. So itu maknanya adalah the original message. No, I mean the modern symmetric ciphers. So kita ada lagi sekarang ni modern ciphers yang kita still guna sampai sekarang. Okay. So macam mana kita solve the key distribution problem is by encrypting the key. So that means prior to the encryption, prior to the communication, Alice dengan Bob akan menggunakan asymmetric ciphers untuk encrypt the key. Bukan encrypt the message, but encrypt the key. Okay, so if the key can be safely arrived from Alice to Bob, then we can share the key securely lah. Kan? Tidak perlu lagi mencari unsecure channel, tapi mereka hanya perlu encrypt the key. So bila Bob dapat decrypt the key, then they can use that key for the symmetric ciphers purpose lah. Okay, so maknanya masih boleh menggunakan symmetric ciphers, tapi the key itu sudah dapat di exchange secara selamat. Okay, so modern ciphers masih ada lagi, symmetric ciphers masih wujud sampai ke hari ini, masih digunakan pakai sampai ke hari ini. Alright, so the conventional symmetric ciphers are character oriented ciphers. Okay, kalau kita tengok sebelum ni, saya sediakan kamu satu table A up to Z, so kita represent by using numbers 0 up to 25, right? If you still remember, so we do the encryption decryption itu based on characters. So with the advent of computer, so we need bit-oriented ciphers because the computer dia tidak tengok data kita tu dalam bentuk characters, tapi komputer ini proses ataupun dia nampak kita punya maklumat itu dalam bentuk bit kan. Okay, so kita juga boleh buat encryption decryption ini based on bit rather than character oriented lah. Okay, so this is because the information to be encrypted is not just text. So it also can consist numbers, it also can be symbols. Okay, kita ada full stop, kita ada exclamation mark, kita ada question mark to be considered, even space. Okay, space juga kita perlu consider. Kalau kamu perasan message-message sebelum ini tidak ada space, tidak ada simbol. Kan? Contohnya yang ini. Ni. There is no symbol, there is no capital letters, there is no full stop. Tidak ada. Jadi susahlah kan. Jadi kita perlukan something yang lebih lengkap. Okay, contohnya M itu mesti capital letters, C itu mesti capital letters, G itu mesti capital letters. Okay, and at the end of this message kita perlukan satu full stop after the S. So macam mana kita nak buat kalau kita hanya referring to the table yang saya provide kepada kamu sebelum ini kan. Table A equal to 0, B equal to 1, up to Z equal to 25. So we need something more advanced lah daripada itu. So, okay, so itu satu. Satu lagi kita bukan hanya perlu encrypt text. Sometimes we also need to encrypt image. We also need to encrypt graphics, kan, audio and so on. Okay, so ada banyak lagi medium. So it is convenient to convert this type of data into stream of bits. Okay, daripada data yang asal kita change dia kepada dalam bentuk bits. Okay, that means kita kena digitalize our data. So kalau data kita dalam bentuk audio, so we can change that form from audio becomes digits through digitalization process lah. Okay, so kita akan dapat a stream of bits. Then when it can be represented in bits, that means we can do the encryption decryption. Alright, so encrypt the stream and send the encrypted stream. When text is treated at the level, the bit level, so each character is replaced by 8 or 16 bits. That means the number of symbols becomes 8 or 16 times larger. Okay, so mixing a larger number of symbols increases security. So normally we are referring to ASCII table. So untuk buat to represent all the symbols yang ada dekat keyword kamu, kita bukan keyword, keyboard. Tengok keyboard kamu, tengok keyboard phone ataupun keyboard laptop. So boleh nampak ada banyak simbol di situ kan. So each symbols yang appear dekat keyboard itu sebenarnya boleh represented by using satu code. Okay, yang dipanggil sebagai dan that codes are tabulated in one table that what we call as ASCII table. So dalam ASCII table setiap karakter itu ada dia punya representation lah. Okay, so kamu boleh tengok ASCII table dekat boleh Google sekarang. So each character, okay, each symbol memang ada dia punya numbers representation. So as you can see, the small letter and capital letters dia berbeza menggunakan numbers yang berbeza. Okay, so that means dalam kita punya message sekarang kita boleh mix antara huruf besar dengan huruf kecil. So not only limited to that, for each symbol juga dia ada dia punya numbers. For example, exclamation mark, tanda seru kan. For the alias notation, for the hashtag symbol. So every symbol in your keyboard itu ada dia punya representation. Even the space pun ada dia punya representation. Okay, so sekarang kita akan encrypt bukan lagi based on the characters, but kita akan encrypt based on the code for each letters or each symbols. Okay, so contoh paling mudah lah. Saya punya nama yang sangat panjang ini. Okay, so ada 4 characters A, R, I, and F. So each character ini ada dia punya bit representation. Kalau kita tengok dalam ASCII table tadi, so each bit, each character itu ada dia punya bit representation. Okay, so that means kita bukan lagi buat encryption decryption itu based on A, R, I, and F as we did in the previous ciphers, tapi kita akan buat the encryption encryption itu based on the bits number. Okay, alright. So kita ada 8 bits for character A, 8 bits for the character R, and also 8 bits to the other characters. Then we combine them together, we come up with this long bits. Okay, so kita boleh do the encryption itu menggunakan these bits lah. So terpulang kamu gunakan what kind of ciphers, tapi the encryption decryption now is done by using this values instead of characters. Okay? So kamu boleh buat the encryption itu based on these bits ataupun kamu tukarkan bit kepada decimal value pun boleh. And then you do the encryption based on the decimal values pun boleh. Contohnya untuk ini block, so dia daripada this bit, so dia menjadi 102, 102 bila kita tahu balik SQ table, so now it becomes F. Okay, and then the second block after we do the encryption, so ini adalah plain text. So after we do the encryption, ini dia punya ciphertext. Contohnya, so terpulanglah saya menggunakan apapun cipher pun. So ini adalah dia punya ciphertext. So bila kita terjemahkan balik, we translate this code based on the SQ table. So each code come out with a different characters. Okay, so this one is the small f, this one is for the capital G, this one is for the capital Q, and the final one is for the small s. So from this message, now it becomes this message, the mixture of small letters and also capital letters. Jadi ini yang modern type lah. So bukan lagi menggunakan capital, bukan lagi character oriented macam yang kita buat dalam Caesar dan juga Affine ciphers. Alright. Okay, so the widely used modern ciphers, symmetric ciphers are the data encryption standard. Okay, as I mentioned before, kita masih lagi bergantung pada symmetric cipher ni. Okay, so yang antara yang famous kita ada dua lah. Satu is the data encryption standard and its advanced version, which is the advanced encryption standard, DES dengan AES. Masih ada sampai sekarang. Okay, so for your information, untuk asymmetric ciphers yang based on number theoretical problem, okay, contohnya RSA, Elgamal, ECC yang saya pernah sebut sebelum ini. So those crypto systems ini akan highly exposed ataupun akan broken lah kalau satu teknologi baru nanti muncul. And those technology is what we call as quantum computing technology. Okay, where the calculation steps can be done much faster compared than the computer ataupun computing technology yang kita ada sekarang ni. Okay, so laptop yang kamu tengah tengok sekarang ini sebenarnya nanti akan di replace lah by satu teknologi yang baru dipanggil sebagai quantum computing technology. Tapi teknologi sangat-sangat baru dan dia sangat-sangat mahal. Okay, so mungkin untuk kita guna pakai mungkin bukan masa yang sangat lama lah. Tapi dia ada, dia wujud. Okay, so if those technology itu akan dapat fully utilized, fully deployed, so nanti semua crypto system based on number theoretical problems macam RSA, Gamal ECC nanti akan menjadi breakable lah. Because the problems can be solved in shorter time. Sekarang ini the problem macam factorization kalau guna teknologi computing yang kita ada, yes solvable but takes sangat-sangat lama untuk solve. Tapi menggunakan quantum computing technology, the problem becomes solvable in shorter time. So bila solvable in shorter time, that means the RSA crypto system tidak lagi secure. So kenapa saya cerita yang itu? So berbeza dengan symmetric cipher DES dengan AES, so dia tidak terkesan dengan itu. Okay. So yes, ada juga dia punya quantum algorithm yang memberi kesan tapi tidak berapa hebat sebagaimana kesan terhadap kepada RSA, Elgamal dan sebagainya lah. Okay, so itu kelebihan symmetric ciphers. Okay, so walaupun dia nampak ada masalah tadi kan, ada dia punya kekurangan, ada dia punya cabaran, but then it is still applicable ataupun still valid lah until hari ini. Okay, so masih ada lagi teknologi simetrik yang kita guna pakai. Kita ada DES, kita ada AES. Alright. So kalau kamu berminat untuk baca detail, so ada kat Wikipedia lah. Boleh baca sana untuk pengenalan kan. Ataupun tengok dekat YouTube pun banyak orang explain tentang DES dengan AES ni. Alright, so I think itu saja untuk chapter ni. Habis sudah, saya tekan next pun tidak boleh pergi sudah. Okay, so sekarang ni kita discuss berkaitan dengan midterm. So saya ada bincang dengan Izzam juga untuk kita buat midterm kita ni pada minggu depan. pada minggu depan secara online lah, secara menggunakan Smart B3. Okay, so rasa tiada halangan bahkan, so kita akan gunakan waktu kuliah lah seperti biasa. Kita akan gunakan waktu kuliah. So apa chapters yang covered in your midterm? Saya ingatkan saya mute tadi, takut saya kamu diam-diam kan. Okey, bayangkan saya mute 1 jam bercakap. Aduh, ya rugi betul. Okey, so apa yang kita cover dalam midterm adalah chapter 1 to 3 lah. 1, 2 and 3. Tidak akan pergi kepada chapter 4 and so on because the chapter 4 onwards itu kita akan cover dalam kamu punya final test. Okay, so your midterm only cover the chapter 1, 2 and 3 only. Alright, so macam biasalah kita mungkin 2 jam lah, 2 jam. Soalan pun belum ada nih, saya baru membuat. Kalau kamu mau request pun boleh juga nih. Kan, mau kasih susah kah, mau kasih senang kah, kan? Okay. So kalau kamu tanya tips, memang tidak ada. So question itu belum ada lagi. Saya baru mau pikir-pikir mau tanya apa kamu dalam midterm. Tapi secara amnya kita akan cover 3 chapters sajalah. Tidak akan go beyond chapter number 3. Alright. Seperti biasa, kamu sudah pernah midterm dengan saya kan? So I need your calculation steps itu kena clear. Okay, so macam mana susah pun soalan tu try lah jawab. Saya tidak kedekut markah. Kalau kamu berusaha untuk jawab adalah tu saya bagi sekupang 2 kupang markah kan. Tapi kalau kamu leave it as kosong begitu saja, apa sih mau bagi? Tiada justification. Tapi kalau kamu usaha juga untuk jawab, kan susah macam mana pun kamu conteng-conteng sana kamu jawab adalah tu. Pandailah secari ruang-ruang untuk bagi kamu markah. Begitu. Alright, so dan calculation step itu tolong jelas. Okay, tolong clear. Kalau ada tulisan yang ada soalan yang memerlukan description ataupun huraian, so tolong huraikan dengan jelaslah your tulisan kamu, kan? And then satu lagi yang saya minta tolong, bila saya bagi satu template ataupun cara penulisan kamu punya file name itu kan, so tolong ikutlah. So kadang-kadang kan bila saya susun dalam satu folder, so bila kamu gunakan susunan yang lain, adalah problem-problem tertentu lah. Jadi tolong bila dapat arahan untuk midterm, baca, read the instruction carefully and please follow the instruction lah. Okay, so kalau saya kata tulis metric number itu di depan, so tolong follow lah kan. Jadi untuk kemudahan kamu juga. So saya semak bukan satu kertas, ada banyak kertas. Jadi kita we want to avoid any technical error lah. Alright. Ada apa-apa soalan kelas? Saya buka kepada Q&A. Boleh juga pasal chapter ni kalau ada yang kamu tidak faham. Hello, kelas. Kamu dengarkan saya bercakap ni?
Dengar, Sir.
Okey, okey, okey.
Sir, berapa soalan untuk tes?
Nah, soalannya belum wujud lagi. Saya pun tak tahu. Chapter 1 to 3. Kalau soalannya
Okey.
sudah siap, mesti kamu kurik-kurik hari ini tips kan. Jadi saya tidak buat lagi itu soalan. Tapi hint dia, saya bagi satu hint lah. Hint yang paling jelas. So mungkin membantu kamu semua kan. Supaya kamu boleh score. Untuk midterm ini dia punya hint adalah belajarlah bersungguh-sungguh. Itulah saya punya hint. Oke. Lagi soalan lain? Membantukah saya punya tips tadi? Boleh lah tu kan. Oke, lagi? Ada apa-apa lagi? Tiada soalan silakan. Oke, 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 baik. Oke, so kalau tiada soalan saya bagi link attendance di chat box. Oke, kita sudahlah dulu untuk ni hari kan. So nanti kita continue untuk chapter 4.